Good afternoon, everybody. It's Tim.
Hey, good afternoon.
How we doing? If we got Amy,
Yep.
Think, Gary, Dave, Lori, Barb, anybody else?
I talked to Brooks today, and he said he's gonna chime in because he's not happy. Surprise!
Okay. Well, hopefully he gets us by public comment, so we can roll through the agenda.
Okay. I'm just giving you a heads up.
Got everybody? Should we? Yeah. We got everybody? We should just get started. Not to chase anybody, right?
Yeah, we have everyone.
Okay, good. Yes. Don't have any minutes, correct?
I'm ready whenever anyone else is.
Okay, I think we've started, so we don't have any minutes, correct?
So no, we do not have any minutes. We're working on those right now. We should have them out by the end of the week. The question for you folks is, do you want us to print those off and put them where we usually put your packets, Gary and Tink, or is emailing them for you, Gary, okay?
Email them to me is okay.
Okay. So we have 2 sets that need to be signed that have already been finished. We saw that in the book, and then we're working on the last 3 weeks. We should have those done by the end of the week.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, and I'm good, but I'm good with I'm good with email. So,
Okay.
we didn't. I don't know. We haven't signed the warrant.
10-4917.
Yeah. No, we have not. I'll email it to you right now. I only have the payroll warrant done. I'm gonna work on AP tomorrow.
Okay. So if you want to wait, do those. If it's not a problem to you, just wait and send them both at the same time, and we'll do an approval email from there.
Okay.
That work?
Sounds good to me.
All right.
That will work for me.
Any adjustments to the agenda?
No, I don't have any.
Any
Does
announcements?
someone want to make the motion for the teleconference?
It's coming. It's a little bit further down the agenda, but thank you.
Oh, okay, I missed that.
And yeah, it's coming up, coming soon. Any
I see
announcements? Any public comment? All right, so I look for a motion to acknowledge this meeting is being held electronically.
This is Gary. I'll make a motion to acknowledge this meeting is being held electronically.
Brooks Morton.
This is Tink. I'll second that.
All right, so it's been moved and approved that this is being held electronically. Is that something we should do earlier in the agenda? Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. We didn't vote yet. So it's been moved and seconded. I will vote affirmative. Tink?
In favor, yes.
Gary?
Affirmative.
So it's been approved. It's affirmative. Question for the group: should that be moved up in the agenda?
It probably wouldn't make any difference, but if we had it first, then anything that we should cover ahead of that would be under that.
Okay. So can you do that, Amy? Just next week's agenda, just put that right under Pledge of Allegiance.
Sure.
Okay.
Thanks for joining,
Brooks,
Brooke.
I heard you chime in. You just missed public comment, but we'll back up. Do you have anything for us? Excuse me? So you just missed public comment, but we will back up. And do you have any public comment for us?
Yes, I found this a very difficult and archaic way to hold a meeting. Once he has a license to host Zoom meetings. You don't have to have a computer in order to do it. You can do it with a telephone. If you're willing, I can set you up to do that. It can be recorded. It can be live broadcast if you wish. This is a very inconvenient way to hold a meeting. I understand the circumstances are extraneous, but the technology is here.
Well, not necessarily. At my house, Brooksy, my granddaughter is taking online courses through University of Maine, and Zoom will not work for us in this house. Okay. She has to go to another place in order to use it.
Here is another suggestion. Because of the guidelines, there actually can be 4 people in the town office at the same time because of the separation that exists, physical separation that exists in the town office. So, you could actually be in the town office and participate in the Zoom meeting.
So Brooks, I think you're ahead of us. We talked about it, and my concern with Zoom was if you didn't have a computer, you wouldn't access it. So I get it, and we're gonna lose half our population if you have to have a computer. The other question for me was I don't know what the value is of us looking at each other. Anybody can call in. People are welcome to participate. So I don't really know the value of video for our meetings. This is a temporary thing. We did vote on it a couple of weeks ago. You brought it up, discussed it, based on the fact that there was concerns that people wouldn't be able to access it, that everybody has a phone and everybody can call in. We thought this was the most open way to do the meeting. And also don't know that there's much value for us, being able to look at each other. So based on that, that's why we made our decision. Now, you've brought new information saying that you can call into a Zoom meeting with just a phone, and you would be audio only?
Yeah.
Okay. So based on that, does that change it for anybody?
How does that change anything what we're doing now?
Well, right now, I have my phone held up in the air to a voice recorder in order to record it. It's unacceptable that I can't receive a recording from the meeting from the town office.
So we found a way to be able to do that, Brooks. Gmail does have a space limit to be able to email out files, but we can do it to a Google Drive and then give you access to it. We are planning to do that this week, and you will get them this week. But I was accurate when I said to you that I cannot email that to you because it's too big of a file. But we can put it on a Google Drive and be able to give you access to it so you can get the recordings.
All right, it just seems a little bit now behind the times. Bethel is doing Zoom meetings. Other towns are doing Zoom meetings. I host 6 Zoom meetings a week. It's not that difficult. But it's your decision.
I don't think it's a difficulty for. I'll speak for myself. It's not the difficulty for me. You're right. Zoom's pretty easy. I think a lot of the world is Zoom right now. I still believe that the phone is simpler and that it's less intimidating for a lot of people. Anybody else want to chime in with anything different? All right, well, thanks for bringing it up, and we will continue with our call. We'll make sure you get a recording. If that becomes an issue, let us know. But we will figure out a way to get you a recording. And you're certainly welcome to join us. The number's got to be the same. Hopefully not for too much longer. discuss and consider updates on the COVID-19 pandemic. Any updates from anybody?
This is Dave. No real updates. Current status is maintain what we've been doing. Order stuff is fine. Procurement available and update the county if we have any further development.
Sounds good. I long for the day, David, when we call, you say, yep, it's all over. I don't think that's coming soon.
Could you
Anybody have
repeat that,
anything else on the
please?
pandemic? Go ahead. Anything else on the pandemic?
I don't have anything.
On to office staffing and hours.
So last week we started the office being open from 9 to 3, and everyone has covered a shift that has worked out really well. We have slow days, we have busy days. The phone has been ringing in that time period, but we're able to get some things done in between the phone calls, and I think it's worked out really well, and I recommend that we stay the course.
Thanks, Amy. Anything else on that? We'll continue with what we're doing. We can move on to budget. Amy has sent us copies of the budget. I guess we begin with administration, Amy, and I'll let you lead us through this.
Okay. So the overall administrative budget is up $9,730, and this is all pre-pandemic budgeting and planning. So we're looking at roughly $2,000 increase in computers, a $3,000 increase in elections, $3,000 decrease in elections, and majority of that is because last year we budgeted for a tabulator as a part of our budget for elections, and I'm going to roll that over to whenever we can buy a tabulator, which is a whole nother story. But there are costs associated with having a tabulator for electronic ballots. Not electronic, but scanning the ballots and actually having a ballot machine. So we will have to budget some extra money in there. It's probably going to cost us about $2,000, depending on how many elections we have. Registry of Deeds, we've been running over on Registry of Deeds, so I just increased the budget to cover the cost. That money is recouped once people pay their liens off, but it's an in and out expense, so I figured that would be appropriate. I reduced the mileage budget by $1,000. Legal expense is up $3,000 just because that's what we're running right now, and nobody knows what's going to happen in the future, so you're running about a $13,000 a year legal expense. Audit is up for obvious reasons, and for them to continue to do our asset management calculations, they've asked for additional funds of $1,000, so that's why I've added $1,000 to that. Postage is the same. AvCog dues have gone up about $400. Dues and associations, same amount as it was last year. Printing is up $400. Administrative training is still the same as last year. Advertisement is up $500, and I primarily think that's going to be for selling off tax-acquired property. Office supplies is up $1,000. Having 3 people in the office is is definitely costing us more in supplies, and miscellaneous is up $200. Total overall the wages line is a 3% raise, and the overall budgetary increase is $9,730.
The admin line on the sheet I'm looking at is below the line.
So that's the total. So the one way down at the bottom that says administration, $325,530.
I got it. Yeah.
That's the total.
Yeah. Got it.
Okay.
Got it. So, I thought, when we asked Amy, I want to make sure that Gary and I are all on the same page, but we asked Amy to build it like the pandemic didn't happen. We're going to go through all the numbers, get to a total, and then we are going to go back knowing the pandemic happened and look to see where we can save, where it would be appropriate. So, at this point, I don't know that it's worth going back to say where could we cut. I think we'll wait till we have all of it done and then go back through and see how we could cut it. Does that make sense to you and to Gary and Tank?
This is Tank. That's what we had talked about. Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah. Gary, you're good with that?
Yeah, I'm in favor of that.
Yeah. Okay. So, Amy, let's keep right on rolling.
Okay. So the next item is ambulance. So we all know that Medicare went up significantly, and apparently I transposed those numbers in the actual budget. So the $15,750 should go in the second line down, and the $700 should go in the line above that. I will make that fix.
Got it. Yep. Yep.
So I had a conversation with Tink about this because I don't want to get caught in another scenario where they have to increase their budget even though they told us they're not going to, and not have the money there. So I'm projecting a 5.9% increase because they're already saying that $6,360. So basically, at the end of this year, our fiscal year, the beginning of our fiscal year, if we had not continued to pay them what we owed them and created a balloon payment, the balloon payment would have been something like $3,000. So anticipating that might happen moving forward, I kind of doubled that, and then I added some money in there for wages and salaries as well as mileage, because there are some issues going on at Medicare, and they're having additional meetings, and we pay per meeting.
So bottom line, we're moving from 10,800 to 17,200.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things that's going on, too, because we discussed that, is there's a movement for union to come in there, which could very easily change the wages. Nobody's and on that yet, so I think we need to be aware of that and plan a little bit towards that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Anything else on the ambulance from anybody? On to fire department, correct?
Yes. So I had a conversation with Alan today and told him we were going over his budget. He did say there were a couple of additions that he wanted, and we thought maybe putting them into a capital improvement account for some improvements to the Sunday River Fire Station, as well as a door separator. Is that the way you would explain what he's looking for, Gary?
This is Tank. What it is, it's a hydraulic spreader. If you get to like a condominium that has a locked door, you can put it on the door frame and spread the door frame enough so you can open the door.
Okay. So he's requested that, as well as some weather stripping around the truck bays and some insulation in the roof, hopefully helping with the heating of that building. And I have talked to Dave about adding that to our capital buildings budget, so that when I present that next week, it might not be next week, it might be the week after, that would be a part of that. But the overall budget for the fire department is down roughly 12%.
From 85 to 77.
Oh wait, no, certainly not 12%. So yeah, 10%.
So is that everything? Is that fire department has multiple budgets, right? So is that the total that's spent on the fire, or is there there's other stuff? Correct?
So this is the operational budget for the fire department. The fire department does have a fire department equipment capital improvement capital reserve account, and we usually set aside money for that so that they can set aside money for purchasing trucks or whatnot.
Right.
Or equipment like SCBAs or, turnout gear or whatnot. So that is a separate account, but this department budget is the operating costs of the fire department.
Okay.
I think what I would say is I still don't see a clear plan to try to recruit new people. And I don't know how I think you need more of a training budget to be able to do that. But that's an outside perspective.
Well,
That's probably not a select board conversation. I mean, that's probably a conversation for you and the fire department and the fire department to have.
No, I think that's a department. I think you're in charge of the fire department per the ordinance. I think that's a decision you need to have with the fire department, and I think we have had it before. But I think that the training line, if we're trying to get new recruits, we probably need to beef that up.
So should we ask Alan to join us, so we're not talking about his department without him?
Well, yeah, I've talked to him about it. I said to him, don't you think you need more in training if you're going to get more recruits? And he said he didn't think that he was going to get more recruits. So,
So here's my struggle, and I know we got a couple of fire department members on here. If you guys want to do it different, you can. But we're trying to resolve a fire department issue. We're getting secondhand information from you, who talked to Alan. My suggestion is, if we're going to talk about the fire department and its budget, let's get Alan. Obviously not tonight, but let's get Alan to join us and go through it with him. If that doesn't make sense to everybody else, great. We can move forward another way. But if I was running a department, I'd want to be part of the conversation.
this is Tank. I agree with that. There's a couple things that I've thought about, talked about, and it hasn't been brought up, so I'd kind of like to do it with Alan in front of everybody, I guess.
Right. So,
I think we.
Go ahead, Gary.
I think it would make sense to have Alan too, but as far as getting recruits, you can't get blood from a turnip. I mean, we can put some advertisements and stuff out there if that's what we would like, but if that's what you're looking for is for the budget money to do that. But I just don't know. I mean, everybody's having the same problem that way. The only way we might be able to do something is, I guess I'd probably better not discuss this without Alan being in on it, maybe. I think that would be the thing to do, to maybe table the fire department one until we can get Alan on board.
Okay. I mean, I did tell him we were discussing it tonight. But I'll ask him formally to call in.
And this is one of those ones, right? Amy, you're the town administrator. We ask you to write the budget. We don't ask, we don't go through it with you saying, okay, put this in. What about that? What about that? You put it in. You present it. What I think we should be doing with the fire department is the same thing. They ought to be presenting the budget from internal conversations, and then, as a board, we can look at it and go, yay, nay, how come, and ask questions. But I'm a little uncomfortable, trying to trying to direct the fire department. Certainly a legitimate conversation to say, guys, we think you need to go out and try to recruit, but up to them to figure out how to do that, right? That's what their job is.
Well, yeah, I understand that. I'm just, I just wanted to make everybody aware that we're reducing the training line. I mean, it's only $200, but still $200. And if we're trying to get more people to come to the fire department, when that doesn't make sense.
I guess I agree with you there, but I think we need to table this. If you want to, I'll make the motion or whatever we need to do.
No, I'll definitely ask. I'll ask Alan to meet with us next Tuesday or whenever works for him, so that he can kind of discuss what if any. I think maybe I'm wrong, but I think the board asked the fire department 6-7 months ago to come up with some ideas that would help with recruitment, and when I look at that line, I just wonder if that's happened.
Well, one of the things that I had, about the wafer board that I was thinking about, and that's kind of we agreed to do that, but it's because of those crap going on, that's got pushed back, and we don't really need it until the next time we have a town meeting or something with the general public coming through the door.
Okay. All right. I'll ask him. We'll hold off on the fire department budget and see when he can call in.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Or at least give us a chance so that we can talk with Alan and get some of his thoughts or opinions. We can take some notes down, and I'll have him write down some things so that we can discuss.
I think it's better when we can talk and kick ideas around, because I've got one idea, Gary's got another idea, somebody else has got another idea, and I don't know what Alan really wants.
Right. Okay.
But my suggestion is you guys do that as a fire department, and then come to the, take your fire department hat off, come here as a select board, and, the select board, we're not here to hash around the ideas. We look to you guys as the experts to tell us what you need, and we'll do what we can to get you that. That's how I think we should move forward. So if you guys can get with that with the fire department, decide how typically that's I think how we've done it. We haven't hashed out the fire department budget at the select board level.
Yep, I agree that we should get together and discuss a little bit more detail.
Yeah.
Get back
Perfect.
to you. I mean, we got to switch our hats from one thing to go to the fire department and do it, then come back and put our other hat on and discuss it.
Yeah, which is which is good. It's certainly got the more people who the fire department is lucky if the people are involved putting the budget together also get to vote on it, which is a nice thing. So, all right, I think we've got enough on the fire department.
Okay. So I submitted the third-party request budget.
Yeah, I saw that. Where the heck is it? Yeah, I got it.
So, the folks that never submitted anything to me, I didn't add them because I think most people did resubmit something. The Eddy School did not request additional funds, and the only other change is the Mountain Explorer is asking for $12,000 instead of $10,000. And that is it.
And I'm sure someone will come to the meeting to explain why.
Yep. Yep.
And it won't be gas prices.
No. Yes, right.
So do you want to reach out to Deb just to give her a heads up, saying, hey, we're putting this together. If you're interested, let us know.
Sure, I can do that.
Yeah, it'll save us having a backup if we want to do this once. Anything else on the third party?
There's one thing I might like to do is maybe add a little more to Lifelight. I don't know how many times they've been to the mountain this year, and how many times they've been up to, say, like Grafton for injured hikers or whatever, but that is a very unique situation with them. And I don't know, $1,000 probably doesn't do them much, and they don't ask us for more.
No, they don't.
I think I would like to see that raised.
They charge around $7,000 for a patient to be transported, so they don't get paid for all of them.
It's I met with those guys a year or so ago and was blown away by it. That thing's a friggin' flying hospital. So, if anybody's in trouble here and needs a chance, they give it to them. So, Gary, I'd certainly support giving them more money if that's what you want to do. What are you thinking for a number?
Well, this is the hard part, because how can you ask more people for more money if we don't know how much of an effect this pandemic's going to have on everybody?
Right.
I guess I would like to maybe go 2,000, and if it doesn't happen, we can discuss it later on when we go over the rest of it.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
I agree. This is Tank. I agree with that.
Okay.
I believe that I know of, there's been about 5 cases with the air ambulance that I know of in Newry, or Newry and Grafton.
It's back.
Welcome back. They're certainly, when you need a man, that's certainly a crucial service to have. So, anything else on third party?
Nope, that's it.
All right, and then there's a rec budget. Right, we skipped the rec budget.
I think Brooks is trying to speak.
Yes, Brooks is
Okay,
trying to speak.
Okay, let's go to the rec budget, and then we'll go back to Brooke.
So the rec budget is up $1,000 because we were not paying for swimming lessons, and now we are, and that's running us an additional $500. And the rec board has re-audited how much it costs to do each of the programs, and they're upping their fees. So an additional $1,000 instead of $500, it's $1,500, so it's an additional $1,000.
Okay. And Brooks, I'm assuming by your timing, well, let me go back. Any questions on the rec budget? So Brooks, based on the timing of your question, I think you probably have something about the third-party request.
Yes, I didn't know if you had received my letter.
I just received it today, but the email I received from you several weeks ago stating that you still wanted the $5,000 request for What TV on top of the franchise fees. I did add the $5,000 into the third-party request budget, as well as the franchise fees will be on the town warrant.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. That's all.
I think that's our budget stuff for tonight, unless anybody else has got anything else on budget. All right, let's move on to the administrator's report. Amy.
So I received a request from a resident up near on Wheeler Road that they don't have cell phone tower service or broadband and would like the town's help to get Spectrum to go up there and or get a cell phone tower on their property.
Cell phones, certain places on the Branch Road, because I plow up there and I've received phone calls and made phone calls. Certain places, but there's other places that you don't get it, and that's probably where they are.
Yeah.
They're on the Wheeler Road, right?
Yeah, they're on the Wheeler Road.
Oh, the Wheeler Road. I don't know. I don't get up there, but I know on the Branch Road. I was thinking the Branch. There's some places, like
They're probably
but
like
way
the
up
rest
into.
of us. They're probably like the rest of us up on this end. It's hit or miss. You got to find that magic spot, and that's where you go. Use your cell phone. As far as broadband or anything, cable doesn't, Spectrum doesn't come up this far. It stops at the Branch Road.
Right. I think this person is requesting that the town subsidize Spectrum to come up there.
How much money is that?
It really depends on how many people are willing to sign up.
So what's our next step?
Well, I mean, we've talked about this over and over again. So, are we willing to work with this resident or the residents up in North Newry to try to get Spectrum to go up there and at least get them broadband internet?
Absolutely.
Well, the problem is we've turned down some over in the Powder Ridge area that wanted that.
Yep.
So we can't be the one and not the other.
I don't see why not.
So I know Mia Purcell is working on this broadband issue.
Yep, I connected her with Mia.
Oh, good.
I did. Yeah, I made the connection between the two of them, asked Mia if they had at least a contact person. But I did inform the taxpayer that usually you have to have 20 hookups per mile for Spectrum to come. And I don't think they're going to get that. But if we're willing to work with them in any kind of capacity as a town to help get Spectrum up there, then Spectrum might be willing to do that. I don't know, but they might be willing to. But I'm just letting you know that the written request has been sent to the town, and I have at least had made contact with this person to Mia Purcell and trying to figure out if there's any way we can help.
So, I would love to help if we can. I say that, tentatively because I don't know what that means. Are we looking for a $100,000 investment from the town? I think that would be a little rough. Are we looking for a letter from the town to say help us? Like, what does help mean?
Well, if they're looking for 20 per mile, you probably have every single person up there. You said that you take it, they wouldn't get 20.
I don't know how many miles do you live from the Branch Road, Gary?
It's got to be maybe a mile and a half. At the most, I think 2 miles, pretty much down by Dawn and Sylvia's, somewhere in there.
Okay.
I think it's 3 miles to the end of the town line.
Right, that would be about right.
Okay, so I mean, I can tell you that on average to get broadband per mile is about $30,000 a mile.
So we're asking for, we'd be asking the town for $100,000.
I don't know if Spectrum would give us a deal and we could get it cheaper, but that's doing it on your own. You know, if you were to build out a black fiber network, it's about $30,000 a mile. And then take franchise fees from Spectrum or GWI or whoever. But yeah, that's what you're looking at.
Well, then
If you work with a service provider that's already in the area, sometimes it will be cheaper.
Right. So we got to get rid of the ifs. I mean, we've been asked. Is that something you can follow up on, Amy, and find out what would it cost us from Spectrum? So we're not talking about what ifs. It's, yes, we can do this, and if we want to get this for the 3 miles, it's got to be, it's a $90,000 charge, but for Newry, we'll do it for $50,000. And then we can go to the residents and say, what do you guys want to do? Do you want to split that with us, or how do we? Happy to work with them. It's just.
Yeah, and that's what Mia does. So that's why I sent the request to Mia to see if there's any way that we can make contact with Spectrum to see if there is any, so we can get the answers. I'm letting you know in my administrative report that we've been requested to at least try to help. And I'm letting you know what I've done so far so that we are all on the same page. But I'm hoping that you're okay with that. I'm not asking for you to make a decision. I'm not asking for money. I'm just saying, is that what you'd like me to do? And I'm assuming you do, but that's what I did.
It's already done. I'm fine with you doing it. We'll wait to hear more from you on what that means.
Okay.
The only other question I have is the Sunday Riverside, there's areas there that don't have it either, so if we're going to do this, it needs to be a complete package.
What's that, up past the covered bridge tank? Is that where there's no service?
I don't know exactly where it goes. I know there's areas up there that don't have it because it was some of the peaks for that area that.
So the Peak does have it. Their homeowners association work with Spectrum to get Wi-Fi connection going up the peaks. I think Powder Ridge has it through First Light, but I'm not entirely sure. They have been working with service providers in the area as a homeowners association to do that.
The town is our homeowners association.
Yep, I'm just letting you know that there are areas over there that have already done this on their own, and we were very fortunate. But yeah, there are areas in town that they're not being serviced, and during this pandemic, it has become very apparent that broadband internet is becoming not a luxury; it's a necessity. So would you like me to send an email to Mia and ask her about the areas over in Sunday River that could possibly get connected and working with a service provider to do that?
I think that's what Tink was saying.
It is. If we're looking into it, what's good for the goose is for the gander, so we just need to know what we're talking about to do the whole thing.
Okay.
I mean, you have more for us, Amy?
I'm sorry, yeah, I do. So AvCog has started a online web workshop for planning board members to watch, and it's free. And I spoke with MSAD 44 to decide if they are moving their elections from June 9th to July 14th. The superintendent said that he thought that they would, but they haven't made a formal decision on that, so I didn't put that as an agenda item on tonight's agenda, but I expect that will be on the next agenda for the 28th. As well as postponing town meeting, because I don't think we're gonna be able to meet with more than 10 people on May 12th.
Right, the emergency's been extended until the 15th, the stay-at-home hasn't, but that date's coming quick.
And that's it. That's all I got.
All right, Amy, thank you. David?
Yes, I've not issued any building permits or plumbing permits since last Monday, or our last meeting, Tuesday. I am hoping to pull the road postings off tomorrow morning, and I'm still working on the Combs Road right-of-way infraction and the Brook Road property line, and the emergency management, we somewhat covered that already, and I'll just go on to say that any PPEs that the town feels they need, we should try and source that ourselves. And that's all I have.
Thanks, David. Any committee reports? Anything from the selectmen? All right, so I guess just a heads up from my head, when we're going to hold town meeting is going to become a big topic here for us. So, Amy, any intel you can give us, it'd be great on, what we should do, because I think you're right. I think that the May 12th date is certainly not looking good.
Yeah, so MMA has recommended that all May and June town meetings get postponed to at least July, but it possibly could be later, before we can meet
Something for us to think about is
with more than 50 people.
Right. So, we'll get there.
So I think the first, at least this is my thought process, was that, and there'll be an agenda item to postpone annual town meeting to a date to be determined, because it doesn't make sense to set a date and then have that date change and have it change again, and with the promise that we give, residents 30 days notice before we're going to move forward with the town meeting date.
Right. Any other business?
Nope.
I'd look for a motion to adjourn.
This is Tank.
All right, so Tink made the motion. Gary, you want to second that?
I'll second it.
Okay. I will vote affirmative. Tink?
Affirmative.
Gary?
Affirmative.
It's unanimous. We are adjourned. Thank you very much, everybody. Well,
Thank you, guys.
Have a great night.
good night.
Everyone.
Stay safe.
Good evening.
Yep.
You too.